Hey everyone, welcome back here to my channel where I play Planet Zoo. My name is Nisse and today we're gonna make a main entrance with a restaurant and a gift shop. It's gonna be our main entrance since I basically just didn't want the starter entrance you get. And this is also going to be the edge of the zoo on this side, so it makes sense to place it here. First, I'll just put up all of the walls I possibly are going to use, and then afterwards delete the ones I won't. I actually like rediscovering new walls, and sometimes when I see them up while I know what I'm going to build, then I actually sometimes see some of them in a different light. So even though I was going to use another, then I maybe just change it up when I see the walls in the sun. And sometimes we just always use the same walls, and that gets boring at some point, so therefore I just love switching it up this way. As you probably noticed, I placed the restaurant a meter up, and that's actually because I want a staircase up to the restaurant, both to kind of make the feeling that you change the scenery in some point, but also actually to get a better view, since we're going to have a habitat on this side. So you will get a great view of the habitat from the restaurant, and it will also bring a bit of distance between the animals and the guests. If you feel like making an entrance yourself, you can certainly do so. I will just add, when you add the entrance piece, make sure to direct them the right way, or else your guests won't enter your zoo, but only exit your zoo. It's just a little thing I wish I knew when I started, so I would like to just spread the knowledge. If you want to know where in the zoo we are placed at this point, it is the Formosan black bear you can see down in the corner here, and the big temple building that we have behind it, and then the backstage area we did a few days ago. So here I just tried to figure out which size I'm gonna use to make sure that I want the staircase up here, but I also needed to kind of fit with the 1 meter, and I needed to fit with the rest of the building. If you want to do a small pass like this that is less than the 4 meter grid you normally have, then down in the corner you can edit your grid size from 4 meters down to 1 meter. It helps a lot with this. You can see here the squares become smaller, and you are able to make these smaller moves around but still use a grid piece. Then after finishing the floor, I go in here and make a second wall, so I actually get the appearance of a rather thick wall in this point. Normally in real life you would use it as a broom closet or something like that. I'm not going to do that today because I kind of feel like it's fine the way it is. Here I use the non-grid pieces to add this last piece of the wall, since the grid pieces only are 4 meters long, but it kind of work here. Just doubling this over, and then I'm trying to figure out what I want to do in here. So I try to add something that goes from the one point to the other, so you kind of get the idea that the ceiling fits with the flooring, which I just think is a nice touch. Then I go back outside and finish off the padding system. Here I just want to show you this little trick, because you can limit the height of a staircase or these up pieces with the padding system. You can limit that to 1 meter or half a meter, but you can't limit the flat grounded pieces. So instead I've added one that went up and one that went down as a half a meter, which allows me to have a total length of 1 meter. Then I add the grid pieces in and go back and make the 1 meter path so it doesn't go up and down anymore. Then after this I go in and actually try to remake some of the water down here. It is the lake all the way from the Himalayan brown bear. and I just wanted to make it a bit bigger so we can get some beautiful views here from the entrance with a little lake before the zoo. I think it's, when you build a zoo, it's the entire storyline from you enter the zoo to you leave the zoo, that everything needs to be either a fairy tale or what you want to do with it. It doesn't have to be a fairy tale, of course, but it have to be something that's tells the story you want to tell with your zoo. And for me, I want to pull people out of the world they normally live in and then put them into this animal kingdom. So therefore I think it's important to add so much of the beautiful nature in my zoo as possible, and one of those things clearly is the lakes and the waterfalls and all these wonders of the wild. Here you can see working around water is always quite difficult because you can't place the water after placing the bridge. So I do work a bit backwards and forwards around this. However, I know I'm going to move this bridge later on because I want to make something with this area out front. Today we're only gonna focus on the building and outside of the zoo, and then in a future episode we're gonna make something out here that pulls it more together. So it will be partially bare when it's done. Out here I make a parking lot, and I will say it will be extremely small because if you want to make a full-size parking lot, then it will take a lot of time, and I don't think a lot of you are actually going to watch all of it. And furthermore, it would be just a lot of copy-pasting, which will take an enormous amount of time and space. So I don't want that, so I just placed this little parking lot here just to get the feeling of a parking lot, but it won't be full size. It was important to me to make a somehow pretty parking lot. I know that it should be still basic. You wouldn't want to use all of your money out here, but a parking lot, especially the one right in front of your zoo entrance, set the tone for what your guests are going to see in and around the zoo. If your guests already out here have a feeling that you just didn't care about anything or didn't want to put in the energy, then they already at this point have a negative attitude towards it. So it's all about finding the balance. You want to put in enough money and effort, but not too much. If you like any of the cars I use on this parking lot, then I could say of course the buses are of course from the game. I think they're from one of the DLCs, but it is from the game. But the rest of the cars are made by other creators, and you can find them on the workshop. The auto camper is called Camping Car PC Scaled, and it is by Busy D. The gray station car is called Estates Car / Combination Craft Wagon, and it's from Nick. And lastly, the 3 cars in 1 workshop items is called Car / Vehicle Set by Darth Delicious, and they are of course made by Darth Delicious. All of them you can find in the workshop either by searching, or you can use my link in the description to find them. It was important for me to make some kind of flower beds out here because it will need a lot of color to make a parking lot not boring. My initial thought was to use the exact same color palette of flowers out here than I used inside. I kind of scratched that idea because I kind of would need a bigger flower bed for that. And it was important for me that my guests didn't think that they should go past a real big parking lot because of the fact that we wanted to add more flowers. So I wanted the flower beds to be quite small so we could have as many parking lots as possible. Again, in my head, this parking lot extends far beyond what I make it here, but it would just be boring to use too much time on that. I will go back out here later on to finish off the flowering and that kind of stuff, but at this point actually we are pretty much done out here. So we will go inside here, and now I do something that you shouldn't do if you play franchise or challenge, because it will be expensive for you. But I always want 2 information centers at the entrance, because this is where people would stop to ask questions when they first arrive. So in a real zoo you would need a lot of information out here, but because of the way the game is built up, you wouldn't actually need it as much in the game, and then you would just use too much money on even more vendors. So it doesn't make sense in the game. For me, it just makes sense in real life to do that. I just add some flower beds on this side, and pretty much exact same design. And then we're actually going to go in the middle of the entrance hall, if we can call it that, where I want a big centerpiece. I want it to be built up of the same tree. And here I work a bit around, because I wanted it to be a 8-sided shape. So by making sure to place the first side piece the right place and then use a mud pillar, I can actually just make all the sides exactly the same side. And then I just work a bit around to find the best size for a middle piece, because I think the one I placed first is too small, but a lot of the other ones here is just too big. So it was hard to find the right thing, and this is one of the many places you will see me. I just go in and throw everything out, and I just end up with this piece. I'm not really going to do anything with it. I just like that you have something in the middle that break up the just massive plants inside. And then I just start throwing the things in. I have no idea of if these plants can even live in the same soil, but I just want color, and I wanted different sizes, and I kind of wanted something that could represent the animals in the zoo, which is extremely fun and difference between the animal, and just a lot of diversity, but still fun and weird in a way. So I do like it. I think it's pretty, but it isn't. You would be able to see that this isn't perfectly planned, and I like that feeling for this zoo. Another zoo, I would probably do something different. Then after finishing off this big planter, I thought that no place in a zoo is too early to start some education. So we use these signs, mainly because it's the only kind of education you can place this far from actual animals. And I just give them these green and brown backgrounds so they kind of fit in with the theme. And then I try to add types of education that is difficult to place other places in the zoo. Then I go in here and beautify the restaurant. It really doesn't look that great yet, but we will get there, I hope. Then I use these glass pieces. I love these glass pieces. They are my very favorite glass piece to use. I also think about using them on the edge, on this balcony, or what we're gonna call it. But that would be too much. I would like in here to both be breezy in the summer, but also dry and snow free in the winter. Then I noticed that the balcony is simply too small, so I just add this part out here and try to make it kind of it looked like it was the plan all along, and try to fit in the tables. As far as I remember, I still didn't get the 20 tables in here, but I did get 18 instead, and 18 is still a good number, because most most likely you won't be able to fill every single table in the from the restaurant other way. Then I went in and just added this little metal piece on top of the edge, or what's it called? I don't know. Up here, just to give it some more privacy, both the restaurant from the animals down here, but also the animals from the guests at the restaurant. This is a thing that can take up a bit of time because I really want them to fit in well with each other. I'm pretty sure that other people would care less about how they fit and just place them faster. You can certainly do that. Again, it's your zoo, so it's totally up to you. I just like it when it fits, even though I'm gonna place something on top of it some places. Here you can see I placed another, and it's simply called Gift Shop Collection, and it's by Skylala. It's one of my favorite workshop items to use. And normally I use a lot of the things on the shelves as well, but today I wanted to use my new mod, being the gift shop mod, so I just used the shelves from it. But really, I can recommend this workshop item a lot, and if you want to get it yourself, link will also be in the description. I do believe that this gift shop mod, along with the skins for the mod that I use, that also will be linked below, I do believe that that's then the only mods I'm using today, but I'm not completely sure. So if you see anything I have forgotten is a mod, then you can be sure to find it in my mod playlist. I have 2 different mod playlists here on YouTube. One is for modded animals and another is for modded prop. And of course I'm not using any animals today, so today you could just go in and search in the modded props playlist, and then you will probably find it. Of course, if you don't have any of the DLCs, then I will have some things that you don't have. Because I'm a shopaholic, and every time I see anything animal related, I have to get it. It's kind of just like with Pokemon. You start with one Pokemon item and suddenly you have a house of Pokemon. Yeah. Sometimes when you start a collection of something, then it's just take off at some point. If you wonder, and I'm not assuming you wonder because I think someone is stupid, I'm just saying it because I wondered this a lot in the beginning. The back of these shells aren't white, it is really light pink, which made me love them even more. But yeah, it's just something that drove me crazy in the beginning, because when I placed them next to something white, then I could just see the difference, but when I didn't do that, I couldn't see the difference. So it's just, if you wondered, they're not white. To be able to use the gift shop mod by Nicholas Nightrider, you have to have some skins. You can make them yourself. I'm too lazy for that, so I downloaded 3 different skins. They're all on Nexus and they're all linked below, but I will just mention I have a pack with a lot of kind of different stuff in, and that's called Gift Shop Skins 1, and that's by Leaf Scott. Then I have book skins for the gift shop pack by Leaf Scott. And then I got WWF's GiftShop Pack by LBE Dits YT. It will all be linked below along with my review of these. I made a review of the entire gift shop mod, where I also showed off what is in these different kind of skins. So if you want to go in and read more or see more about it there, then you are very welcome. And now when we have skins from WWF, we also have to talk about what WWF is. It is the World Wildlife Foundation, and if you don't know them, then you probably should. They work worldwide both to rescue animals from things in the wild, but also to rescue them from people. They help mishandled animals that, for instance, worked in circus, zoos, or different kind of entertainment. But they also help like koalas that got burned in wildlife fires and that kind of thing. So I actually lived. I of course can't go into every single detail. So I did leave a link for you below to wildlife.org, where you can go and read a lot more about what they're actually doing. They have tons of different ways to help animals and tons of different ways for you to help animals. Therefore, for instance, you can go in here and donate some money yourself to help some animals, but you can also choose to adopt an animal if that is something for you. You can also choose to get involved in fundraisers or other kind of volunteer work. Of course, they also need educated people, but you and me, who doesn't really know anything about it, can still make a big difference. So therefore, please, if you have money to spare, click the link and just make a tiny donation. If you feel like it, I can't really tell you what to do with your money, but I just personally think it is a worthy cause. And if you want to help animals but have a big issue with, if I help this animal's organization, then I can't help this animal, and a lot of animals and organizations are specified in some kind of animals, and if you just want to help them all, then WWF is an organization that helps on a bigger scale. Of course, we still need the more specific kind of organizations, but WWF make such a beautiful job with helping animals worldwide, and all sizes, all colors, all families of animals. Sorry, I don't know what to call it. So if you just want to help, just leave a penny or two, and then you can help quite a few animals that way. Again, totally up to you, but it's just, I will throw a penny or two that way, and if you want to, the link is there for you. I will say though, I didn't donate to the WWF you find with this link. This one is from the UK, as far as I understand. I donated here in Denmark, and I just noticed that there's quite a few differences between where you donate. So maybe you have something, some kind of perks or something like that in your country that you wouldn't get here. For instance, the Danish one have you don't get anything just by donating, but they also have a shop where you can get clothes, teddy bears, bottles, stickers, food wrapping paper, all kind of stuff. In the .org, which is the one I donated, you can make a one-time donation, adopt an animal, give through your donor advertised fund, become a partner in conservation. Then you can give monthly. You can go paperless. That's actually also a way to help. Give a gift of membership, so you pay, but instead of you get a membership, then you can give it as a present to someone you love who also love animals. And then of course you can join WWF. I did try to just click on donate, and then you could actually pick a gift they sent to you, which were, sorry, I'm just gonna click here again, which is either you can choose not to get a present, which would maximize that they actually get all of the money you donated, or you could pick a pair of socks, real pretty. They have white and green whales on them, and a 4-tot set, which are kind of bags that you can actually choose to get as a reward for giving a monthly donation. But if you only choose to donate once, then you can, instead of this really comfy socks, they seems great, then you could actually get an umbrella instead. And if you live in the UK, you probably need an umbrella, which is actually pretty. I really like the color of this. It's not black and white, it actually is denim blue. So I just wanted to tell you that. So you can of course go to my link and donate, but maybe they also have a local for your country website you can donate, and maybe they give you some kind of perks by it. They did tell me that by signing up for a monthly donation, I actually became a, how to pronounce it, nature protector, which I personally think that's the title I'm going to use from now on out. So I'm not no longer Nisse Sue, now I'm Nisse the Wildlife Protector. I love that. Again, link is in the description, and I will find something else to talk about now. As you see here, and you will see this with a lot of the things we're going to do today, I fill off the shelf, and afterwards I actually remove some of them again. This is based on if you visit the shop during the day, then probably there will be some missing because someone already bought some of them. So I just thought it looked more real, and as someone actually bought the stuff, if something would be missing. And I'm pretty sure I actually do it with all of the things. So I copy the cups up and down here, so we have 2 shelves of them. Mostly because cups might be one of the things they sell the most of. T-shirts, hats, of course, and teddies. But I also think cups is pretty much up there, because you don't. People who want the shirts are either people that want to wear them, or people that's going to do something with them. I actually saved a lot of my old t-shirt from zoos and other places growing up, and my mom and I are going at some point to make a frame them all in a picture frame, so we can actually see them, even though I'm way too big now for them. But people who buy cups could be everyone. Most people use cups at some point or another, whether you drink coffee or tea or cocoa or what you want. Yeah. And afterwards, of course, we needed some phone cases. The only thing I think is a bit off with the phone cases is the fact that there's only one model. And I know most gift shops only have a few models, being 2 or 3 models, but they will still have more than just one brand of phones. Then up here, of course, we needed a few hoodies to go with the t-shirts. There aren't any folded hoodies in the gift shop pack, so I couldn't add them. I would like to have them like I have the t-shirts, where I have some hanging and some folded, so I could only have the hanging here. But I really like the design of them, however. Then we needed a few umbrellas, and I decided to go all with WWF with them, because we would want people to, in the rain, actually showing off WWF. I think most zoos in Denmark, however, have different things from WWF. I don't know internationally how common it is, but it is pretty common in Denmark. Then, of course, we needed a few plushies. It's the main thing I look for in a gift shop, and I actually personally think it says a bit about a brand, which a zoo is actually a brand. about the quality, and sadly plushies are going downhill in quality in most zoo. But honestly, my relationship with plushies is that my dad told me when I reached 250 plushies that if I wanted more, then I need to throw one out every time I got a new one. So maybe I overdid it just a little bit, but I love the plushies. And I still do, and honestly, I think I have a plushie in my bed and no one takes it out on my bed, and it's bigger than me. And I love it. So I added actually 2 different kind of plushies here. We have the ones in the box and the ones that aren't in the box. The one in the box came with the original gift shop mat, and then the ones out of the box is actually a new addition he made when he made the update for 1.9 here. And I really appreciate it. Also because these plushies, they are flexi colored, so you don't need skins to use them. Instead, you just change the color like you do on every single other flexi colored thing in the game. That also being said, that they don't initially have the color that you place, that you can see in the menu. You can see when I pick them, they have the color from the last thing I colored. But besides that, I really love them, and this also give more opportunities for people who want to customize it but don't want to make their own skins. As I said, there's no skins in here that I made myself. They all are downloaded from Nexus, and there may be others up there, but these are the ones I found and I really like using them. But I actually thought this was way bigger when I made the review of the mod, which again is linked below. They seem so big, these teddies, and they're actually pretty small. Or I know standard size, but I have a thing for big plushies. That sounded weird. But I just really love plushies, and I think I'm always going to love them. And just kudos to Nicholas Linewriter, because he made both the Indian and the African rhino and elephant, and also added both the emu and the ostrich, which I think maybe he thought one of them was a cassowary. That's also possible that it's an ostrich and a cassowary, but he made different variation. He also didn't just make one bear, he made 3. He also made 3 different cats, so he didn't just stop with he didn't just do the bare minimum and then stopped. He actually, of course, he didn't make every single animal from the game, but he really was thorough. And now if I just keep adding these kind of props into this gift shop, then I wouldn't get the same issue as I actually got. But because I choose to add these, because it made sense that you could bring things home for your pet at home from here. But if you notice, all of these shelves are placed on path, which means that the guests are going to run right past this, or rather right through this. So when I actually wanted to record the cinematic, all of the toys was all over the floor, and actually also outside this building at this point. So I needed to clean it all up, and then I went in, and I'm just gonna put in a clip here so you can see what I did about it. So as you can see here, all of the toys is all over the floor. So I used this fence which stop every single guest no matter how low you place it into the ground. So here I actually just placed it lying down. and just the fact that the foot of it is out to the edge stopped the guest from running through. So this will secure the movable object from moving out of place. I did the same with the wall between the gift shop and the entrance hall, just to stop people from actually going through the wall. The only issue with using this kind of technique with the movable object is the fact that I'm unable to place it on higher glass shelf, because I wouldn't be able to place the bottom thing inside of a glass shelf without it being seen. Then up here I just put some plastic snakes, because I just think plastic animals would be fun for kids. And first I thought about the frogs and the spiders, but that would take so long time to fill out the shelf, so instead I used the snakes. It's okay to be lazy once in a while. Then after this we just go outside and remove the items that we didn't use. And then I just noticed that I need another shelf, which I didn't plan anything for. So at this point I just try every single prop I can find, what kind of fits. I think I'm one of the YouTubers you can really see whether or not you're prepared for what they're doing. And I think this entire channel is just me not knowing what I'm doing. So when I finally finished putting things on the shelf here, we of course needed the gift shop stores themselves, and I just placed one of each, which people haven't really been using at this point, but doesn't matter. This roof is from a mod called Zoo Scenery Pack by Jojo, and if you like it, I will of course link it below along with my video on it, so you can see everything about it before you decide to download it. I really love this roof. There are some other things in the mod that I'm not the biggest fan of, but this roof is just so beautiful. It's flexi color you did see before when I changed the color, and it's just spot on every single time. I did pick this specific shape of the roof basically because I really wanted this kind of feeling that when you go into the building through the two main openings to the entrance hall, then you then the building kind of opens up for you. So therefore I actually bent the roof down in both ends, but still keep these openings in the middle of it. And here you can also see I chose to make the roof just a meter wider than the building itself, because I normally would have done this with these small pieces there. But when you have a roof that goes up some places and not other places, then it's difficult to place them without it looking weird. So I thought it better just to do it with the roof instead of these small pieces. So when I finished the roof, it left me with some open spaces here, which I'm going to fill in with glass. I wasn't really sure if glass was the right choice. I just knew I wanted something different from the bottom of the building, and I wanted something that could allow sunlight to shine through. I did also think about glass, but then with some kind of wooden beams, but after just placing the glass, I actually thought it was what the building needed. And then after finishing the glass pieces, I noticed that the roof, when I moved it out and made it bigger, then it didn't actually still place on the building, so I just needed to lower it down, and thereby also lowering the glass pieces down. And now of course we need to start with the beautifying project, which basically means we made a lot of flower beds earlier, so we gotta put in some flowers. Again, it was my idea to use the same group of flowers that we used inside out here, but then I thought again we would need something that was able to survive out here with all of the car gases and wild animals out here, and people maybe walking over them because they're too lazy to go around them. So I just went with the biggest flower I could get and then placed just that one. Also, so if something got ruined at some point, then they would naturally be able to reproduce themselves. So here I just add a glass wall, so the wall actually goes up all the way here in the middle. But still we allow light to get through, which I just really like. Then up here I kind of wanted to make a flower bed also up here to get more of these fresh flowers and colors in, but I actually ended up with just making a flat roof up here and calling it a day. I'm not really sure still if one or the other had been better, mostly because the flat roof up here would allow for some storage, some kind of prop up there that people would notice when they're eating and have something to talk about, which of course flowers up there would have done the same, but I actually end up just leaving it as is. Then out here I actually wanted to leave it as it was, but I just kind of got the feeling, and I know you could make this building without the roof falling down, but I kind of got this feeling that it looked like it was going to fall down. So therefore I just made the easy decision of adding in these pillars. And I actually think it goes very well both with the building and with the habitat we're going to place here. Then of course there was a few things I forgot, one of which were the path down here. I wanted my staff members to be able to go over to the backstage area from here, so I'm kind of just make this narrow road down here, which I'm making into a staff road of course, and then just connecting back here so the habitat would kind of shadow over this path. Of course I also went over to the original main entrance and deleted that, because that was kind of the purpose by building this entire main building, was that I could remove this, and then we will in a later episode get some beautifying episodes over here just to kind of finish it off and make it kind of more cohesive. And then of course I wouldn't be a Danish person if I didn't add living candles everywhere I could, so of course the restaurant would have them. So guys, this is where I'm gonna leave you today. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please tell me in the comment section below what you think of this as an entrance building to a zoo. And yeah, you know the drill. Like, subscribe and turn on the bell of notification so you know the next time I upload a video. I really hope to see you again either in the comments below or in the next video. Bye guys!